Hey, good morning, my friends. Welcome to Seal Beach, where I am surrounded by rain. I'm looking over this way. I see rain. I see rain over here, so it's not long before I get dumped on here in Southern California. Good morning to you all. It's great to be with you. Happy New Year. It is the new year. We're on the precipice of 2023. And of course, I wish you all health and happiness, joy, prosperity, anything your little heart desires in 2023. I hope you get it. And more than anything, my heart is filled with gratitude for all that you have done for Friedman Adventures in 2022. It has been a remarkable year for us. Our growth has been spectacular. Starting to look at 1.5 million views now, so we're really happy about that, and really can't thank you enough. You know what time it is, everybody. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning to you all. Delicious. All right, let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. First of all, if you can, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate your support. When you hit that like button, it helps us so much. If you like these videos, make sure you share them. And of course, subscribe to Friedman Adventures and tick that little bell and you'll be notified when there is new content. All right, so obviously we're looking at some inclement weather. We've got rain on the horizon. We have got a lot of wind that will manifest itself this afternoon, and Sunday is going to be a very windy day, and that is of course going to have an adverse effect on our fishing. We'll get into all of that in just one moment, but it's as if we're getting a little break so we can spend time with family and friends on the first day of 2023, because it's going to be nasty in those bluefin tuna areas. And so, as I say, I'm going to get into that in a moment. January the 6th, don't forget, you can come down to 22nd Street Landing, bring some kids. It's a free fishing day, but we're almost full. We're going to be on the Monte Carlo 7:30 till about noon. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon on January the 6th, we'll be there at the landing and doing knot tying seminars and offering you a free hot dog and selling our raffle tickets so you can participate in our raffle and help us send more stuff down to Mexico Lindo. Going to be a really great day. You want information on that? You want to get in on the raffle? You can do that. Anything else, just send me a text, 657-227-6459, and we will get you all tuned up and ready to go. All right, folks, let's start on the other side of the border, because there's all kinds of stuff going on down there in that neck of the woods. Number one, Victor from, of course, Blackfin Sport Fishing, Arnie from Arnie Sport Fishing, and of course our dear friend Diego Nuno from Costa Baja Sport Fishing, still catching good amounts of excellent eating rockfish down there. There's some big bonita running around and an occasional yellowtail also, but it has been quite good here recently on the bottom grabbers. Lingcod, Boccaccio, reds, those are vermilions, whitefish, sheep's head, you name it. It's been really good down there in that neck of the woods, and I see no reason why that's not going to continue into 2023. Andrew Deal and his brother Phil are going to head down to Blackfin here in January, I believe around the 5th, 6th, something like that. Wish you all the best of luck. Andrew, I know you're going to have a lot of fun with Victor and Nacho and all the guys. Incidentally, I was at the Orange County Fairgrounds last night, and one of the guys who runs one of the Blackfin boats, Nacho, his sister walked up and introduced herself to me. What a small world. And a whole bunch of guys that were there loved to fish at Blackfin. It was really crazy to see all of those great folks last night. Saw some other guys. Will, you know who I'm talking about. Will, what a fine man, what a fine gentleman. Great to spend time with you, Will, and thank you very much for everything. I know you've been a big part of why our growth has been so good. Man, it's getting windy. This wind is starting to show up here already, and as I say, I am surrounded by rain. So let's get down to where the Polaris Supreme and several other long-range boats have been conking the big bluefin tuna. Here as we move into January, it's absolutely incredible. Red Rooster 3, Independence, Polaris Supreme, Intrepid, to name a few of the boats that have been about 140 miles down the Baja coast from San Diego in that neck of the woods, 160, and they have flat been all over the big bluefin tuna. Sinker rigs with 100-pound, and I'm talking long-range size fish right on the doorstep of San Diego in northern Baja, California. It can't get much better than that. On the Polaris Supreme, 78 bluefin for a 5-day trip, 12 over 200 pounds. Remarkable fishing, no question about it. 15 of those fish in the 100 to 185 pound class, and the rest of the guys down there had similar type fishing. The weather in that area will go to spit on Sunday, but it recovers fast and looks great for the rest of the week. So you're going to have that one Sunday tomorrow where it's going to be kind of nasty. I imagine some of those big long-range boys could hang in that weather, but it's going to be uncomfortable. And I think most guys are going to be in for New Year's Day, so it won't be really a worry. And no matter how far the water temps fall down now, it seems like this bluefin just continues to want to bite. So excellent fishing there. Now let's go out to Tanner Bank, where Jeff Yeomans was out with Mike Morrison and a bunch of great people on board the Freedom yesterday, and they had a lot of fun. That bluefin bite, however, backed off considerably. Jeff said, Yeomans from the 540 Slingers Club, my very best to all you great folks at the 540 Slingers Club. We love those guys, and we hope to see, I know a lot of you guys work, but hope to see you January 6th at 22nd Street Landing in the afternoon. But Jeff said there was a lack of current. And when you have that lack of current, you know, fish like moving water when they feed. You have that lack of current, sometimes the fish get off the bite, and it seemed to be the case on board the Freedom. Now, Jeff said you can get away with a little bit bigger hook, like a 1/0 size hook, if you bury it in the live squid. Live squid, perhaps the best bait, still had to fish 25-pound fluorocarbon to get a bite. So you had to drop that fluoro down. And again, about a 1/4 to 1/2 ounce sliding egg sinker seemed to be the best way to do it. 15 bluefin tuna and tons of bottom grabbers. That's one great thing about fishing out there in that neck of the woods. You have a shot at that bottom fish, and it was excellent. No question about that. But the bluefin bite backed off a little bit. Still, I mean, the end of December, and we're still catching bluefin. That is fantastic. And the Freedom is going to throw more trips on, so keep your eyes open for that. However, that weather is already going down the tubes out there. And as I look at the next week, if the forecast holds, we're going to have these little windows of okay weather, but most of the time it's going to be really, really bad out in the Tanner Bank region. That will undoubtedly reduce water temperatures. So in a normal year, I would say that's the end of the season. This year, in 2023, I'm not going to say that because there's so much feed out there, and we're talking about market squid right now, that bluefin just doesn't want to leave. It stays right there in that 58-degree water. Maybe get down cooler than that now. Will it stay? I don't know. I think so. I think that bluefin is going to hang there, and time will tell. Of course, we get some better weather on the horizon. Somebody's going to zoom out there and give it a look, and we'll see where that takes us and where that leads us. Feeling the rain now. Oh my God. It's just a little rain, but it's starting to come down. So once again, that area out there looks pretty good. Along our coastal regions, don't forget some great shallow water rockfish, but that all comes to an end tomorrow, January 1st. So that's kind of not worth talking about anymore. It'll open up rock fishing in SoCal on April the 1st. So if you're going to want to do any rock fishing, you're going to want to go south of the border, where you can go down to Collinette and you can catch rockfish galore, and you can catch some yellowtail. Also, I forgot to mention to you, the Polaris Supreme and several of those long-range boys are also getting in on that kind of fishing, that rockfish, excellent fishing. They also had go-arounds on the yellowtail, which portends really good fishing for those Collinette type trips that the San Diego based boats like the Relentless and the Sea Adventure 80 will be running shortly. Keep that in mind, because that's a viable option. And the other option is blackfin, Arnie sport fishing, Costa Baja, going across the border and fishing with the great folks on the other side of the border, and that should be really, really good. Phil Capriccio, a guy that Eddie Leland introduced me to, has got his beautiful yacht loaded with clothing and school supplies, and he's headed down to Cedros Island. Now, in the beginning of all this, Phil and I were working together. Phil reached out to me. Eddie Leland introduced me to Phil, and he said, you got to meet Phil. He's a great guy, fantastic heart, and I found that all to be true. So I'm telling Phil, okay, yeah, I got tons of stuff. We'll send it down to Cedros. This will be great. So Phil mentioned to some friends, I'm going to go down to Cedros, this little island. Their poverty is pretty high, and they were hit by a hurricane, so they could use some help. Well, now Phil doesn't need anything from me, and he's taken on this entire thing on his shoulders with the help of his dear friends, and he's doing this mission of mercy down to Cedros. It's fantastic. What a guy to dedicate so much time, to burn all that fuel, to take time out of his super busy schedule to make the world a better place. Phil Capriccio, my bald head with the rain falling on it. My hat's off to you. My hat's off to all of you. There's a lot of you. When you cross the border, you take clothing down there. You do so much. I cannot thank you enough. And we're going to be doing a whole bunch of giveaways here in the beginning part of January. Remember, January 6th, a big day down in Mexico, Dia de Reyes, Day of the Kings, when the kings encountered the Christ child. It's a big day, January the 6th, also known as the Epiphany. That is going to be a lot of fun for us, and I thank everybody who made those donations to make that all possible. All right, you know what? I'm going to get out of here. This rain is really starting to come down, and as much as I love you all, I think I'll wish you a Happy New Year and wish you all the very, very best. And one more time again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you have done for Friedman Adventures, as I deeply appreciate it. Have a great, safe, Happy New Year. And you know, I hope to see you very, very soon. Philip wanted to see how wide open the bass bite was at San Clemente Island, so he threw the A-rig.
I'll look at it chewing.
I don't want to do this again.
Don't at me! Jesus Christ! Don't at me! Jesus Christ!
That dinner! Woo. Let's see that thing.
Watch out, watch out! Oh! What in the hell is going on here? Another big bass on the boat. There he goes. Oh, that is just a gorgeous fish. Hey, I had to take a break. I've been catching bass full speed. All of us have caught bellies.
Are everywhere.
Big spinning you to the rail. Go, 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 go. Nice fork, man. That's a good one.
First cast coming up. Dad Leland's back. He ain't screwing around anymore.
Freaking nice bar perch.
Ah, life's good. Woo!
Good job, man.
Oh, Phil, I'm so glad you talked me into this.
Woo! What a way to start the morning.
Really fun and productive method to take yellowfin croaker in the Southern California coast is by throwing a small lure. It really works well, and it's lots of fun.
Deception jig, man, and that thing hit the bottom, twitched it once, and it was on.
This is not a translator. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you.
I'm Desiree.
Oh my God. Holy shit. I'm so happy. Oh my God, Phil, how the hell did you do
Danny
this?
Cadota and I went to Torrance, California to the Sushi Chef Institute to try these fish chips out.
A fish chip. Really? It is. That's what he said. I go, wow.
You are going to have to try these. So good.